I have no idea why the percentage is so high. Let's go back into why Jews accomplish anything. And I think it may go back to one of the big things that was important to Jews way back is literacy, being able to read, being able to write. And in the Inquisition, when there were a lot of Jews that were invited to come to live in Venice because the letters of credit were now, and highwaymen couldn't steal your goods if you have the letters of credit going on ahead of you. So they need people who can write and read. So they invited all the Jews from the Inquisition who were willing to go to Rome, to Venice. And so literacy was very important, and reading was important. And I think to be any kind of a performer, you have to be able to learn to read, to write. And I think the kind of a little extra education that they have, when you have an extra education, you also have an extra understanding about certain things. You can comment on certain things, and comment about the social life of your own people. You can comment, and I think they were commentators. That's a theory that I just now said for the first time. I don't know if it holds any water, but being literate, I think, putting a premium, being able to read and write, made it a little easier to go into show business. And I think what it is going into your father's business or going into your relative's business. And all these Jews came from Europe at the same time and set up different things. Many went into clothing. That's where some of the people went. Some people went into show business. Some people went into vaudeville. And there were movies were starting, little theater, the Nickelodeons were being bought by a lot of Jews because it was a good business. They were looking for business opportunities. And Jews always liked theater. They always did. When I was young, there was a big Yiddish theater downtown. I only went to see it once or twice, but it was honorable to be an actor. Jewish people consider it honorable to be an actor. A lot of people thought being in show business was something to look down upon. Jews never felt that. They loved to be entertained. They loved to entertain. And so they invited people, it was inviting to go to those people and say, hey, I'm funny, I can do this. And they hired them to do that. I think that's what it was. It was really relatives. I don't mean blood relatives, but they would understand. So you go to them. And also, because once one good Jewish comedian begets another one, you see a Jewish comedian and they say, ooh, look at that, he's Jewish and he's a comedian. They let him do that. Maybe they'll let me do that too. So I think it was one of the few things Jews were allowed to do. In Europe, you couldn't own land, you couldn't buy certain things, but you were always allowed to entertain. You were allowed to get up and make a fool of yourself.